Okay, I think we got it all figured out here now.
Take three.
Yeah, this stuff drives me crazy sometimes. Yeah, this stuff will work great, and then you go to use it next time, and something won't be working right. We got a new setup this year, so we're kind of working out some kinks. But anyway, so we're talking about the Sequoia game. They missed what we talked about, so go back. We was talking about how hard the defense hit and stuff in that game, and I said I didn't see it carry on to that level in the next two games. And then you were talking about the
Well, I just felt like the scoreboard, it's easier when it depicts on, in our favor, and more kids are flying around and enjoying themselves. And we got to play with that kind of mentality more often. I feel like we have spurts that we've played like that in the second half of Jay and the second half versus Talcott Sequoia, but we dug ourselves too big a hole, to dig ourselves out of. And turnovers played a big role in the Jay game as well.
yeah.
Hold on, Gavin.
We at the Claremore Sequoia game, I know we had Tanner Maple as the defensive player of the game, and I believe Gavin was the offensive player of the game for us, and that's totally unofficial. You don't get any reward or anything for that.
Not up for the Heisman or anything
No,
like that.
no, but we usually we pick one, and it's the Nutting Paint and Body player of the game, and I believe that's who we picked. Is that right, John? In that first game. It's going to be tough for me to remember that second game. No, it's not. I think I remember. But then we go after Claremore Sequoia, get a good win, go down to Jay. It's going to be a tough environment. Jay's always they're always just big and strong. They seem to be up front. But first play of that game, we give up a long touchdown, and I know the kid that got beat on that one was a young guy.
Right.
But we talked about through that game, he got beat on that first play. He played really well from that point on, But I don't know if they come out I think I had to ask you about this, or talk to somebody, and they said those plays are probably scripted. They come out with those first five or six.
Well, they're going to
plays.
come back and try to hit a home run, and they did. They connected on it, and we're very young in the secondary. I think, like you said, we're progressively getting better. We got some young kids that's playing hard, but they're going to make mistakes along the way, and we just have to, as a team, overcome that. And I felt like, over the past 2 weeks, we're one step away from getting an interception and things like that. The kids are making better reads on things, and we gave up a big play versus Talcott Sequoia.
Right.
Got lost on a deep fade ball that looked like our defensive back didn't even know the ball was thrown. But other than that, we've been keeping them in check. Like you talked about the defense there, we get down 24-7 versus Jay, but we feel like 10 of those points were given up by our offense, putting our defense in bad situations.
Right.
So, after that 24-7 was decided at halftime, we kind of had a powwow there and came back and played extremely well the second half. We gave up the next score with 3 minutes to go in the football game,
Right.
and we're still there and a chance to a two-score game there for a lot of times, and offense never could convert points. And I felt like we let the thing get away offensively and struggled in that game.
Yeah, and talking about the turnovers, the one that was really unfortunate for us is Gavin makes a good pass to Lacey. Lacey gets some yards after the catch.
Yeah.
And the ball comes loose at the end. I think he was down probably the 20 or so.
Yeah, we lost a lot of momentum. That was probably a 25, 30-yard gain, and we're inside the red zone at that time, and he just, coughed it up on a hit that they made a play and we didn't, and
Right.
Adversity faced us right there, and they did a good job of having ball control. I think clockwise they had the ball 85% of the snaps
Right.
offensively, and that's tough to win when you don't ever have the football. They play keep away and the score is not in your favor. It's going to be tough to win that football game.
And you talked about the powwow and the defense and how you played in the second half. Me and John have talked about this several times on the air that in years past, before you got here, we would be down in the first half. We'd go in the locker room, and we'd come out and do the exact same things we did in the first half in the second half. We didn't make any adjustments, and we've seen that your staff makes adjustments.
Well,
you can see them; they translate to the field. You in every game you've played better in the second half.
Yeah.
So you can tell you're going in the locker room and you're not just hanging out; you're doing work.
Yeah, we're very blessed to have good guys on the staff that get it, have a good relationship with the kids, and the kids are responding and playing harder for them. and they believe in the scheme. So, I mean, if your kids don't believe in what you're doing, it's hard to get them to play fast. And we've really made some good adjustments the past 2 games and gave ourselves a chance to win. And I feel like we even had a chance to win at the J game had the offense converted some points. But, last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess we were on a bye week last week, 2 weeks ago versus Tahlequah Sequoia, for our kids to get back in contention to one play away from tying a thing there at the end, or possibly even winning if had we go for 2. But I was very proud of the effort there and the adjustments we made defensively, because they had a couple 3 kids that was very athletic in space, and we struggled tackling them.
Right. Well, me personally, and of course I'm biased as all get out. I mean, you're probably not going to find anybody more biased than me. But I really felt like the War Dogs were the better team that night.
As a whole, yes. We just didn't make some plays when we needed to. We gave up the big 67-yard touchdown pass and things like that in crucial times of the game. And then, we just ran out of clock because, after Tanner returned that punt, when you're saying no, and then go,
You were too.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen that backwards return drew up like that, and I don't know when, but he made a play, and you got to give it to him because he's trying to win.
Yeah.
But we had all kinds of momentum at that time, and we're having to try to run some things up our sleeves and some hook and laterals and things just to try to get the ball scored, because they're in a prevent defense and they know that they can't give up a touchdown, but they can give up a field goal. So, we're trying to score with one timeout there late and trying to rush everything. And I felt, Gavin obviously, stubbed his toe and wishes he had that pass to throw over again. But in reality, there was games in the first half that could, there was plays in the first half that could have won that game, but everybody sees the last.
Right, that's right. The one thing too that we see that kind of hurts us, and it has, I think, in about every ball game. Of course, we won the first one, so you don't really see that one as much. But we call them stupid penalties. You hit somebody late, or you run your mouth, and on that game-ending drive at Sequoia, we get a penalty that backs us up.
Yeah, we had a holding penalty.
And those, you just can't do those in those times. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say in the booth,
right?
But the ones that I guess bother me the most, and probably bother you the most, are the ones where you're pushing somebody when you're heading back to the huddle, or
the retaliation penalties and things that that's kind of cowardly, as far as you're not gonna win a fist fight on a football field. I mean, you want to win a fist fight, win the scoreboard. That's when you're going to win the fight. But we got to overcome some adversity, things like that, and not try to get the last word in it, whether we think the official made the right call or we got a little cheap shot in the bottom of the pile. That's part of the game. How you respond to it, that's going to depict on if you're a winner or not.
Right.
And we want to be winners, and that's one thing going into this rivalry game, that we want to be the bigger man. I mean, we want to play between the whistles and play physical, but being the bigger man is not doing the extracurricular.
Yeah, because in a game like this, those penalties will cost you even more. I mean, in a big rivalry game, because now you're going to fire them up.
Right.
You give them the momentum. Again, this is me being biased and personal here, but Dro's always been a little dirty. They've always done the little things, but they try to get in your head to try to get you to retaliate, because they know the guy that retaliates, the guy's going to get
right. I mean, we'd like to have the personal fouls, the extracurricular stuff go our way and not be offsetting.
Right.
I mean, when they can throw a flag and offset the penalties, that's a lot easier to do as an official.
Right.
When they don't have an instigator and they just have a retaliator, sometimes the second guy's the one that gets caught.
Oh, yeah.
So
probably 90% of the time.
Yep.
Well, you want to talk about these first 3 games, Gavin, before we move on to
What to say about them?
So, of course, Tahlequah Sequoia, you had a great game.
Yep.
Made some really good throws. Going through that game, what was your mindset? What did you think as you were going into halftime and through the second half?
Oh man, we were down going into half. I knew that the game wasn't over. I mean, it was obviously still winnable at that point, but that's when we just had to keep. I mean, we played better in the second half, obviously, but a few things didn't go our way, like you said, and that pass at the end. Yeah, I wish I could have that back for sure, but man, it didn't lose the game, but it could have won it.
Yeah, that was the Tahlequah Sequoia.
Yeah.
I'm starting on.
That's what you started.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I meant Claremore Sequoia.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, let's jump to Claremore Sequoia. Then.
All right.
There are too many Sequoias around here.
Yeah.
I keep them all straight. So the Claremore Sequoia, the win.
Yeah.
Tell us how. I know you guys, had a game plan, you prepared, but take us through some plays. I know you remember a couple plays in that game that stick out to you.
He ran the ball really well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we beat them up front. And that's all. I mean, we knew we could do that going in there. I mean, we had pretty even sized front with them. We knew that's where we'd have to beat them at. I mean, we threw a few good passes there too, but our running game was where we beat them at in that game for sure.
Yeah, and up front in that game, your offensive line and defensive lines really did work. I mean, they just
For sure, they owned it.
They lit them up the whole night. I mean, Clay McCormick on defense, Tanner Maple on defense. Those guys were just flying through.
Yeah, Mason Clark surprised me in that game too.
Tearing
Yeah.
them up. Yeah, we were telling. That's what me and John were saying. Mason Clark's out there eating people.
Yep, he was.
I mean, he was flying through that line and just smoking people.
Yep.
Yeah, the fun thing as the coach in that game is several kids contributed in many different ways.
Right.
Instead of just one kid having a night, we had 3 or 4 guys going off.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we got to do if we want to beat Grove too.
And then, of course, we'll go down to Jay.
Yeah.
You go in down at half. So I know Coach talked about adjustments. At halftime, I don't know how much he wants you to say, but what kind of adjustments were you guys making to come out in the second half?
Well, running the ball right down their throats every time was not working like we planned it. So we threw the ball a little bit more in the second half, and defense for sure they stepped up big time and held them to scoring with 3 minutes left in the game basically. Didn't score one time in the second half besides that.
Yeah.
You alluded to the pass completion for the fumble, and then we also had a snap fumble that was crucial.
Yeah.
At one time too, that really took away the ball and put us in a bad situation.
And then at Tahlequah, or here against Tahlequah School, that's when we started with that I didn't mean to. But I want to go back to Jay. I think Jay, our players of the game were the offensive line for offense, and I think Tanner Maple got defense again at Jay. And then at Sequoia, we had Damian Burris and I'm drawing a blank on his name. Throneberry were offense, and who'd you have on defense? You had 2.
Yeah, Clay and Ulysses.
Clay and Ulysses. Ulysses had a really good game.
He made some good open field tackles.
Yeah, he
really did. I mean, he's one of them that's getting better each week.
Yeah.
And,
He saved a touchdown on one of them.
His effort, you never can doubt his effort, but he was the one that, it's obviously to see because you're going to see the quarterback's mistakes because he's depicting what the offense is going to do, and you're going to see the secondary's mistakes because they're the last resort before the touchdown, and he's the one that gave up the big play and kind of got lost in the transition of the big touchdown pass they had, but you can never doubt Ulysses' effort.
Right. Yeah, and what grade's he in?
He's a junior.
He's a junior. And then your other corner's a sophomore, correct?
Yes.
And that's the Jinx boy.
Keaton.
But all in all, they played pretty well. Keaton, like I said, that one to Jay kind of got him by surprise. I think. I didn't think he. I'm thinking he probably didn't
Well,
think.
it was a double move. He bit on the hitch and go, and double move got him. The big play, and that's what a lot of teams start off with momentum and big plays, and they suckered him into it.
But he played really, really well after that. I mean, I got to give it to the kid. He didn't get down on himself.
No,
He stepped it up, and he played well the rest
he's
of
got
that
a good
ball
head
game.
on his shoulders, and like we said, we're young. We have 2 sophomores and a junior and a senior starting back there, but our 2 sophomores can play as big and as bold as anybody, and that's Revis and Jinx. So.
Right. All right, so let's get to the upcoming game.
All right.
The Grove Ridge Runners.
You want me to talk or him about it first?
We probably better let Coach talk first.
All right.
Because me and you'd probably get in trouble.
All right.
I've already got in trouble once this week. I don't want to get in trouble again. But so we got the Grove Ridge Runners going down there. Homecoming for them. I don't know how you guys feel about getting picked for homecoming, but that was always a little extra energy for me. Thinking, I thought this was gonna be an easy win. Everybody likes to pick an easy win for homecoming, right?
Besides us.
Who'd we pick?
Wagner.
Oh yeah. Okay, everybody but us. But most of the time, teams try to schedule a win, something they think is going to be a win for homecoming. And it may be too that they thought the extra crowd would help them with homecoming. Because there's going to be a lot more people there normally for homecoming. But personally, I hope you guys don't go down and just throttle them. and I hope you don't take your foot off the gas. I hope you just pile it on, and then we walk out of there with a victory and go on to the next one. But I know we went down. I was down at Pryor last week. I know you and some of your coaches was there, and some of the players was there as well. What'd you see at Pryor that kind of made you check a box, go,
I feel like they're very athletic. I mean, they have probably more athletes on the field than we do at times as far as team speed. Their secondary is pretty legit, and we feel like we have some areas that we need to attack, and we need to play physical football. So it's a rivalry game. It's who's going to get hit in the mouth and then respond, in the right way and be willing to dish it out more than take it. And it's anybody's game. It really is. We match up well with Grove, and we felt like we matched up well with Grove last year, but they hit us in the mouth, and we looked shell-shocked after that, and they just kept pouring it on, and we never responded. I was pretty disappointed in our effort last year as a team and being a rivalry game and stuff. They showed up with a backup quarterback. Their starter had been kicked out the week before, and we didn't know what to expect, and their backup quarterback ran all over us, and that's who they have right now as their starter. And he's a great athlete, dangerous in space, and creates a lot of things with his legs, and we have to keep him in check as well as some others.
Now, last week their starting running back got ejected from the Pryor game. Do you know the status of that?
So, with our approach as a staff is, we control the things that we control with the War Dogs, and we're preparing for the best and seeing what they show up with on Friday night. And we know the ruling, we know what's supposed to take place, but that kind of stuff's out of our control. I mean, they not only have, him as their starter, but their backup's just as good. Younger kid that's fumbled a few times, but as far as team speed and things that they can do offensively, he's scary fast.
Right.
So, us preparation, talking to the kids, is whoever Grove shows up with as their running backs, who we got to defend anyway. So we're not going to scheme any different ways as far as our approach. We control the things that we control and come in there with the right mentality and play physical.
Right. I seen him play at Pryor the other night. He fumbled a couple times. The guy I was in the booth with said at Jay he fumbled a couple times. So, I mean, it's there. I mean, he can put it on the ground. And the one at Pryor, it was when he took a shot. He coughed the ball up. So, I think, like you said, if you're defensively, if you're out there doing what you're supposed to, you're putting the wood on somebody, that's going to happen with a lot of running backs.
Yeah, we get a lot of hats around the ball and fly around and have fun. We're going to have a successful night defensively, but they'll have a scheme as well. I mean, they're coached up well. I'm pretty pleased with their staff and what they did to us last year as far as how competitive the staff, and they get their kids. They did a better job than we did. They got their kids to play harder, play faster, and they schemed us to death last year with a lot of quarterback read stuff. So, Coach Caldwell and Coach Trimble and staff, they're going to have something up their sleeve this year too. They want to compete and win just like we do.
Right. But you're talking about the quarterback read stuff. That's a lot of you got to stay home.
Oh,
you got to do your job and
everybody has an assignment.
Right.
You can't just get the window dressing and all the motion stuff. You can't go chasing it and then nobody's home up the guts. So
right.
Everybody has a responsibility, and we got to stick to what we've been taught.
So going into this thing, you feel good about this week's preparation and where we're at as a team right now?
I don't think we can be in a better spot. I mean, we've had 2 weeks to prepare, and we've been preparing just like they're as healthy, and everybody's playing on their side. So we show up Friday night and see who suits up and get after it. But things like we said, we can't control the weather. We can't control who they suit up and who plays for them. We just control what the War Dogs do, and we prepared the hardest we could. I felt like we've had tremendous conditioning. Felt like we was a little bit sluggish going into that Talcott Sequoia game and the way we played and responded at times. I felt like we were tired, so we've done a little bit extra. And we're fairly healthy as a team, and we're going into it with our guns loaded.
That was my next question. It was health-wise. Having the 2 weeks, that lets you get some of them guys healthy that may have been having a little banged up. But so far this year, I don't think we've had any serious injuries, have we?
I know some ankles and things that's going to allow some kids to get back, in the future. But we're still a little bit banged up, but not to mention any names. But we're as healthy as what we can be at this time, and the 2 week break did help us get our legs back underneath us and things. But I feel like
we're going to show up and be a competitive football team. We just got to find a way to win.
Right. All right, Gavin.
All right.
So, what's your mindset going into Grove? I know you're his quarterback coach. Is that correct?
Depends on what you're talking about. Which game?
So, I mean, you
Yeah,
guys.
so we've been working a lot of things, offensively that we felt like we were struggling with as far as our approach on how we're delivering the ball. A lot of things was too much finesse and not enough. Gavin's got a really strong arm, but he hadn't been showing it because he hadn't been throwing with his legs. Pocket presence and things like that. We worked really hard last week, and some scheme things that we're going to try to do. I feel like plays in Gavin's hands, so we're going to look a little bit different.
Okay. So, quarterback coach has been working with you, and so I guess you kind of answered my question there. I was going to say, if you've been working on anything special this week to get prepared for this, given 2 weeks, there's really a lot of things you can work on and develop and get better at.
Yep,
Do you feel like that's happened in this last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 games, I had a bad habit of throwing off my back foot, not staying in the pocket, rolling out when I didn't need to, and all this stuff. And we've been working some bag drills and stuff like that to help me stay in the pocket and take a hit when I need to, and I mean throw with my legs.
Yeah, and taking that hit sometimes is not fun.
Yeah, but
as a quarterback, I mean, sometimes you got to stand in there.
Yeah, you got to do
when
what
it's
you got to do.
breathing down on you and make that throw, and then take the hit and bounce up and go do another one.
That's right. Yep.
Now, again, this is me looking at what I saw last week at the prior game. It looks like our offensive line will have the size advantage.
Just going to have the physicality go with it.
Right.
We're going to definitely be the big football team.
And I think if you're given time, you really have a couple good receivers out there with Burris, Swingle, and Throneberry. I mean, you got a set of 3 receivers there. I mean, against Sequoia, Damian had 11 catches. Is that right?
I don't know what the exact stats were, but 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. And then Throneberry had 8 or 9 catches. Really, he made some big catches. Throneberry did to get some first downs. So your guys, I mean, when they get open, you get them the ball. I mean, you got the confidence that they're going to make the play.
Oh yeah, they're pretty they're solid in space for sure. But Grove's got like you said, a legit secondary, and we're looking to beat them up front mainly is where we're at this week.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, for physical up front, I think that can happen.
Yeah.
The one kid at Pryor for them that kind of stood out to me on defense was a kid number 46,
Yeah.
Outside linebacker.
Sarwinski.
He flies around. He gave us problems last year.
Yeah, I would say, and this is just my opinion, he's probably their best defensive player.
Yeah.
That he made the most tackles down at Pryor.
They have some undersized kids up front too that they're schemed and they're going to stun us to death and a lot of misdirection and stuff. But their kids play hard.
Yeah.
They do.
So we just got to play harder.
That's what we're going to.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
But, we got to use our size to our advantage and play physical and do what it takes to win.
Yeah, our biggest problem in years past is going out to this game and a few others thinking that we're bigger than them and thinking we're going to win this football game and then getting too confident and letting it go the other way.
Well, I think you got to get off the bus with the mentality that you can win this game.
Yep, for
But
sure.
then you got to go out and do it.
Yeah.
I think.
That's 2 major different things to do.
Right. Now, I mean, if you get off the bus and say there's no way we can win this game,
Yep.
you're probably not going to win that game.
Yep.
But if you get off saying we can win this ball game, and then you go out and put the effort in that can make it happen,
Mhm.
then you can win that ball game.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't ever remember a time in my career, of any sport I ever played, that I got off the bus and thought I'm going to lose this today.
Yep.
I never thought that way. But then as a team, we had to go put the effort in, and sometimes we came up short.
Yep.
But as long as you put the effort in, you fly around, you do the things that coach and the staff's taught you to do, you have a chance to win this ball game.
Yep, we got to keep the momentum on our side too. The momentum wins ball games. I mean, it's huge.
Yep.
And keep it on our side.
Turnovers are key.
Yeah.
The turnover battle, whoever wins that normally wins the game, you'd say.
Yeah, I'd say.
And
90% of the time, definitely.
and I'm sure you guys probably got drills of stripping balls and stuff like that.
We have some things in this ourselves, ball security for ourselves.
Right.
We gotta keep control of it when we carry it too.
Yep.
But, I don't know if you know. I know you know, but I'm coaching the first grade War Dog football team, and we played Grove a couple weeks ago, and I got to give him a little speech about beating Grove and what it meant to beat Grove.
Yeah, that's
And
good. Start
I
them
just
early.
don't think you started too early on beating
That's
Grove.
right, for sure.
But we did lose the game. But I tried. I tried to build them up a little bit. But
Yeah.
we got one more game, and then we're playoffs bound. And I want you to come out and talk to them for me.
Will do.
One of those nights in practice of that week.
Okay.
Come out and talk to them, and because I don't know if you know, but you guys go into the schools and stuff on Friday mornings.
Yep. Home games. Yep.
That's huge. It's huge. Them
Oh
kids
yeah,
love
I see it in all those kids. Yeah, they love it.
They look at these high school kids like they're NFL players.
Oh yeah, they do. And again, coaching that first grade team, in practice they'll ask us about, Coach, can we do like the big War Dogs do? They want to do stuff like you guys do, and they really look up to you guys, and they really watch a lot of what you guys do, even though you don't know they're watching.
That's
Yeah.
what's dangerous. These kids, we try to make them role models and the character and stuff. The character counts, but sometimes these high school kids don't realize who's watching.
Yeah. And like I said, I didn't even realize it until I was coaching these kids, and they would start asking questions, and I'm like, wow, they really watch these guys more than what I even thought.
They have a big influence on them.
And I mean, I knew I was that way when I was younger.
Yep.
Growing up here.
Oh yeah, I remember doing it too.
Watching
Yeah,
Matt
for sure.
Munger and those guys as we grew up and wanted to be like them. But that still goes on. Them kids still come out there on Friday nights, and you think they're not watching. You think they're just eating a hot dog and popcorn, but
Yep.
they're really paying attention to what's going on. And so I know they're interested in seeing you guys beat Grove too, because they've talked about it a little bit. But we went down and beat Jay last week,
Oh yeah.
and they were stoked. And that was the first game we won other than by forfeit. So, but they were stoked to get that win. But
That's awesome.
we go to Locust Grove this week. But next week, after Locust Grove, we'll go to playoffs. So I want to see if you'll come out one of the nights and do a little talk to them.
Absolutely.
But I think they'd love it. So, and even if you want to bring a couple of guys, if they want to. So we travel down to Grove Friday night. Game starts at 7. Is there homecoming before?
The coronation at 6:30.
Okay, so that's before. So as we're showing up, that'll be going on. We'll be on the home side in the booth, I guess, as we're being told. Normally before they always put us in the stands on the other side, but I guess now that we have a crew broadcasting Grove, they're going to treat us a little better and let us get in the booth. So well, it sounds like we're going to be in the booth over there.
Just don't wear your red shirt.
Yeah, don't wear
I
that.
will not wear a red shirt. Are you talking about last week?
Yeah.
Well, last week.
No excuses.
Hey, let me tell you a little story about that. I went and had these shirts made for my crew that said Ridge Runner TV, and they put the G on there. And when she was making mine, I said, put the Ridge Runner TV on there. Do not put the G on there. So mine did not have the G. It was just representing my business, not the G. So, and she started laughing too. She's like, you don't want the G? I said, I do not want that god-awful G on anything I wear. I will not wear it. So, but that's just me, all right? But anyway, so we'll be up there in the booth with the Grove, or the Ridge Runner TV crew, I guess. They'll be sitting next to us. But the guy that actually does the play-by-play for us on that, his son, is number 46.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he is. He's a real good player. He plays hard. And you guys from Grove, if you're watching, just disregard me. I'm just the broadcast guy, and not part of the staff. So it's not them, it's me. But
You know I work at Grove now, right?
yeah, John does work there. So if you have any complaints, John Bearden, Integris Pharmacy, go see him. You can follow the complaints there. But no, I mean, people that grew up in this, people that grew up in this from Grove, they feel the same way I do. They feel the same way towards us. As, it's not that I hate them. It's just this one week I want to beat them, and they want to beat us. So it's one of them rivalries. I kind of, in my mind, it's kind of like the OU Texas game,
Yep.
but it's Miami Grove. It's kind of
There's a lot at stake besides the homecoming game and Miami Grove. It's the first district game
Right.
for us as well. So, if we ever want to beat somebody someday, these are the kind of games we got to win.
right. Yep. And you get a win in something in this game for either team, it can propel you into the next game and the next game. It'll give you the momentum to keep carrying on.
You bet.
And of course, we want that. We want that momentum to keep going.
Especially seeing, going to
Wautusa next week with a lot of changes they're facing, and we feel like we got 2 possibles right here in a row.
Right. And then after that's homecoming.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, from what I hear, and I haven't seen them play, but I hear Wagner may be down a little bit this year.
They're down for Wagner, but they're still Wagner, and we'll worry about them when it comes. But we got to worry about the Grove Ridge Runners right now.
So 7 o'clock is it Ridge Runner Stadium? Is that what they call it?
That's what we've been calling it.
Okay.
I'm sure that's the name.
Yeah, so at Ridge Runner Stadium. So get down there, get there early. The seating isn't real good on the visitor side. There's not a whole lot of it. We usually fill it up pretty quick, and then we usually have people standing on both sides, and that's
Sure, it'll be a big crowd, big environment. These
Yeah.
kids are excited to play in it.
yeah. So any last thoughts or any suggestions to the fans or anything before we get going?
Just hope-
Everywhere wear blue. Wear blue this week.
Yeah, we're blue.
Yeah, wear blue, be loud, fill the stands. Our cheer team will be going to state
2:30 start at ORU on Saturday.
Saturday at 2:30 at ORU. John's daughter, Lindsay, is the head cheer coach, doing an outstanding job.
Football team's going to support them.
That's why I heard your whole team, everybody's going,
That's
Yes,
right.
and there'll be a bus taking them and stuff.
Yes, sir.
So that I love that. I love that the football team's going to support the girls. They're always there to support the boys, so it's nice to
Give
have
back
them
a
do that.
little bit. Don't just keep taking it.
Gavin, any last things to say before that we don't want to get you in trouble here?
Yeah, I don't want to get myself in trouble. Now we just got to work hard, beat them. And
So-
talking about it since week 1, I've been wanting to win this game more than any game we play this year.
Yeah,
I've been talking about it since week 1.
Gavin's sitting here as a senior, and he's 0-3 versus Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's wanting to do something about it and go out with a bang. So.
Well, I think all the seniors will probably feel that same way.
Yep.
So I hope you guys can go down there and get it. So tomorrow walkthrough,
Yes, sir.
is that at NEO?
We're gonna have it at the high school. We have a lot of things going on football wise tomorrow. Middle school plays at Locust Grove tomorrow night.
Okay.
Kickoffs at 5:30 for 7th grade and about 6:45 for the 8th grade. So we have a lot of coaches going a bunch of different directions. So transportation wise, we're gonna have our walkthrough here tomorrow.
Okay. And then the whole staff will be down there.
Oh yeah.
So just will everybody be there or have to filter in?
A few of us will filter in later just because of the high school finish time, but our focus right now is at the middle school level, and we want to treat those kids right and give them every chance to win. So we're all we're not taking it lackadaisical. It's just the fact that we got to finish up here and have a different route to get there as far as transportation, but we're gonna make it happen.
2 big wins for the middle school this last week, correct?
Yes, sir.
Against Labette County,
Right.
and now they're doing pretty well for you so far.
7th grade's a little bit underachieved. We feel we're 1-2 right now. I felt like we let one slip away early, and then second one we were a little bit banged up. We had a little injury right before the game started that kind of put us in a bind as far as one of our better players. And
Yeah, he's out for the season. Is
he's
that
out
correct?
for the season. Reese Satterwhite
Had surgery.
had surgery on his thumb, and he's done for the season. But
Is Seth Davis banged up as well?
he's back. He got a little bit banged up week 1, but so 7th grade's 1-2, and the 8th grade's 2-1. So it was the first losses for both of those teams in over a year.
Right.
So I think maybe it's a good thing we got slapped in the mouth, and it's how we're going to respond. I know definitely the 8th grade has taken it to a new level as far as their work ethic and things, and sometimes that's good, especially if it happens
Yeah.
at this age when you don't get too confident. And,
Right.
talent only takes you so far, and if they're not willing to work and put in the extra, then that's going to happen every now and again. I felt like that we were a little bit overconfident going into that first week. Our preparation, our pregame rituals was a little bit too loosey-goosey instead of more focused, and that got them focused in a hurry the next week.
I know when I was in 9th grade, of course 9th grade was still at the middle school then. We wasn't up at the high school. So when I was in 9th grade, we played for Bob Homer, and we were undefeated, and we thought we were something. We thought we were it. Nobody could beat us, And we were talking trash, and I think he finally got sick of hearing us talk about how good we were. And of course we practiced in the mornings. And so one morning we came in, and he said, "Everybody get your stuff and get on the bus." I'm like, "Get on the bus? We're in practice, What do you mean get on the bus?" "Everybody get your stuff and get on the bus." So we get on the bus. He tells us to start getting dressed, get our stuff on. So we're on the bus trying to get our stuff on. Well, they drive us to the high school. And we come around behind the high school, and guess who's out there?
High school.
The high school. and they whipped our tails from one end of this field to the other. They hurt us, and they made us see that we could be beat, you know. And it taught us a lesson right then. We all shut up after that, and we ended up losing the last game of the season to Coffeyville, Kansas that year. On the goal line stand, they stopped us on the goal line, but that was the only game we lost. But he sure taught us a lesson about being overconfident when those guys beat us up pretty good. But
Ghost in the building.
yeah, there is. All right, so anything from you, John? You got any questions or anything? Nope, you're good. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up our first coaches show.
About anything about Wardog Sport or Booster Club supporting under anything?
Oh, I did put it on the page, but we did not have a coaches show the first 3 weeks because we didn't have a sponsor. I know I had some stuff going on. Coach probably had some stuff going on, but Seth McCormick, who's became like my mom these days, he calls me and says, "Why are we not having a coaches show?" And I said, "Well, didn't have a sponsor, and you know it costs money to do it, so I need a sponsor." And he said, "Well, what about the Booster Club? Would you do it?" And I said, "Sure." And I said, "As long as Coach is good with it." So he called Coach, and is he like your mom too these days? Yeah.
I'll claim him.
But anyway, he called me back and said the Booster Club would be the sponsor, and so we appreciate the Booster Club for stepping up and sponsoring it.
Our Booster Club is amazing.
They are.
That they allow these kids to do. We're feeding 7th through 12th grade kids on certain away games. Tomorrow, those kids load up on a bus. They're going to get a sub sandwich meal on the way to Locust Grove, so they have some energy to play with.
Right. Yeah. And you know, Seth said they want to do it here in the weight room, which this is the perfect time if you haven't seen the weight room. Man, it's amazing. You know, when Coach Gardner got here, I think there was only half of these racks here. Is that right? Through some private donations and stuff that Chad Davis had worked hard to get. We got the other racks in, so everything's the same on both sides. So you can actually work out 2 people on each rack.
Oh, yeah.
Was there 10 of them?
20 total.
So 20 total. So 20 kids can be lifting weights at one time. It's a great facility. I'm not sure how much of it you can see, but you can see we wanted to have the War Dogs in the background there. The only thing I would change is this green carpet. We got to get blue carpet that says
next.
War Dogs.
It's up.
It is?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. See? All you got to do is ask. Chad Davis takes care of it, right? but no, the facility here is nice. Coach Gardner really puts the kids to work in here, and you can see the development in the kids' bodies. Carson Folks is one I point out because I go to church with Carson, and Carson was the littlest of the Folks boys. He was always littler than everybody else. But over the 2 years you've been here, you can just see his body start developing and turn into a really good football player for you.
The thing about that is these kids, they have to have a work ethic themselves. I mean, we're going to give them the material and the time, and they got to put in the work. And the ones that do, those are the ones that benefit, and those are the ones you see making the bigger games and things. And he's definitely one of them.
Right. And some of the other kids, I mean, the Hartman boys, I saw changes in their bodies when they were, here.
And McCormick's come a long ways.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see it very often, but he actually had a PR and a bench press this last week. Then that don't typically happen during football season.
Right.
And he's just grinding, and you can see it down in and down out. You know what he's going to give us.
Right.
He's going to give us 100%.
Yeah.
And that's, he had one of those big plays. You talked about how well he played versus Glenmore Sequoia, and he makes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and he goes down in a full body cramp. Like, I thought you just hurt your neck or something. He didn't move, but he was just locked up.
Yeah.
But it was just, I thought just one of those deals that he plays that hard.
Well, I heard that when you guys went out there, you told him to get up, or he said he was trying to get up. And you guys said stay there, and he said, "I've got to get up. My dad will be mad if I don't get up."
Yeah, we were trying to scheme it to replace him, and I told him to lay there until I got the go ahead that we were good to go from the other coaches. But he's more worried about Seth killing him than he was cramping.
Yeah. But if you get a chance and you want to come out and take a look at the facility, I'm sure Coach Gardner, one of the other coaches, will give you a little tour here. I know we've had some other alumni came in and stuff and have seen it.
It's top notch.
And but really nice facility, something that's probably been needed for a long time. Again, like I said, once we got Chad Davis here as the athletic director, he started working on things. We get Coach Gardner here as our head coach.
Mr.
And
Hogan and the administration
Yeah.
definitely supports athletics here at Mount High School.
So all those great things working together, administration, the coaches, the kids, and you got a great facility to work out in, and this is not something that's just football.
Oh no.
You got every athlete at the school has the opportunity, and even students that aren't athletes, correct?
Yes.
Come in here and have the opportunity to work out and get better and healthier and stronger. So I know the private donations that was made really helped out a bunch. So if you get an opportunity, come by and look and work out if you want, I guess.
I don't know about the workout part, but
Tell them blessed you could. I don't know.
as long as Bless Insurance covers it, that's what we'll lean towards.
All right, John said no. He's a pharmacist, so. All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap this up, and from the weight room here, does the weight room have a name?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
Gavin Payton facility.
The
I don't
Gavin
know.
Payton
But
facility.
Yep.
Like you leaned, I don't know. Obviously the Owens brothers are big donors, and Munger,
Right.
Todd Berry, and some of those guys are some of the bigger names as far as guys that's really put some money into here besides the Booster Club. I mean, there's several others, Stacy Satterwhite and some locals, but we're going to do some murals and things in here to kind of publicize where the money came from and just kind of dress it up even more.
Right. That'd be cool. We'll have to come back. Well, we'll be here in and out. Looks like doing a coach show, so we may be able to see some.
It's in the works. So
Oh, it is?
Yes, sir.
Cool. That'd be awesome. Can't wait to see it, actually. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap this up. Be at Grove. I know there's a show that we put on that you can sit at home and watch. Do not sit at home. Go to the game. Get in the car and go. You can eat at the Mexican place down there or whatever, and then go to the game. But our show is for those people that can't make the game. You can make the game, so get there. The kids need you there. They need you to be loud. They need you to support them. And makes a kid not feel any better than to look up in the stands and see it full of people wearing blue and screaming loud, especially for the game this week. So the weather's going to be okay, I think.
Supposed to be chance of rain in the morning and break in the afternoon. High temperature of 86. So pretty fair football weather.
Yeah, perfect football weather. So make plans now to be there. You got 2 more days. So on Friday night,